Welcome to the Mesquamaket Beach Podcast, a podcast spotlighting the businesses, newsmakers, events, and memories of Rhode Island's historic Mesquamaket Beach.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mesquamaket Beach Podcast. My name is Ben Barber. I'm one of the producers of the show and your host. And today, for the first time, we are actually on location on the beach, which is a much more beautiful office to be working in. So I'm very happy about that. And I'm at one of my favorite places on Mesquamaket Beach, and probably the only place that we've talked about so far besides Springfest that I have some reference and knowledge of just from personal experience and coming and loving it so much. We're at the Andrea. I'm very excited to be here. And we, of course, are here with Rebecca Colucci. And I'm so sorry, you just told me your name.
Judy Colucci.
Judy Colucci. I'm so sorry. You know what? The second episode of this show, I accidentally called Atlantic Beach Park a parking lot. Oh. So I'm liable to say anything. But Judy Colucci and Rebecca Colucci, thank you guys very much for being here.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
So can you tell me a little bit about? So we're on the patio right now. Is that what you would call this?
Correct.
The
We're sitting right behind the fireplace that was part of the original building.
Yeah. So this is awesome. This is really cool. So this was not here, obviously, before 2012.
Correct.
And we'll get to that in a little bit. Can you guys tell me a little bit about your history with the Andrea, and has it been in your family the whole time? Are you guys the original owners?
My grandfather purchased the Andrea in 1946, so it's been in our family since then. What year did you start working at the Andrea?
I joined the family in 1972.
Okay, wow. So that's a long time on the beach. I'm sure you have a lot of memories.
Mm-hmm.
So he bought it like 9 years after the hurricane of '38.
Correct.
Was it? Do you know when the Andrea started?
1912.
1912.
Was when it was originally houses and stuff, and slowly merged into a bed and breakfast. And then it ran as a bed and breakfast for a long time until my grandfather changed it over to a hotel where everyone had their own bathrooms. The bed and breakfast had like a common bathroom on every floor.
Yeah.
And it was
awesome. So since 1972, you said?
Yes.
You've been here?
Yes.
What changes have you seen at the beach?
Well, many. I mean, even in 1972, there were still rooms that shared the bathrooms. Shared bathrooms. And so over the years, every year we would do a remodel, and by the I would say, by the end of the 70s, each room had its own separate bathroom, and it was a much more updated hotel. They added the patios off the rooms because originally it was just windows. You couldn't get outside. So every year, the Colucci family always did a project. There was always something to make it better for the customers.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And so you and Rebecca, you grew up here.
correct.
Then, so how do you guys live close to the beach?
Yeah, we grew up we have two homes across the street.
Oh wow!
So we grew up on property.
So you're here year round on the beach. That's awesome. What was that like?
Mesquamaket, amazing. It's a great place to be.
Did you what changes of around the because there were the nightclubs in the 80s, and then a lot of that got torn down, and now it's more of this family friendly current Mesquamaket. So what have you guys thought of all of the different eras of Mesquamaket Beach?
I think any community transforms over time. I mean, the ocean makes you make those business decisions sometimes. But it's just basically, I think it's people just knowing what the consumers want and transforming into giving them what they want to come down and spend their money on.
So obviously, sometimes the ocean decides for you that it's time for a change. Sandy, Hurricane Sandy, Superstorm Sandy, whatever you want to call it, had to have been one of the more difficult times for your family, I would imagine.
There were other storms.
Yeah.
I mean, we went through Hurricane Bob, where I think that storm was in August, right before Labor Day, and luckily, I mean, took out all the windows, and all the big patio in front were gone, but within a week we were able to put things back together again.
Oh, that's
Sandy,
good.
of course, was a little bit more severe,
right?
And the building was really tilted and really sinking, and we had a big decision to make because the building was 100 years old, and whether or not we could, put her back together again or not. So, but I'd been through several hurricanes where we were evacuated, had to leave the property, and then come back and regroup and fix it up.
And of course, living across the street, how were your homes affected by those storms?
We were pretty fortunate with the homes. I think this last storm,
Michelle had to move out.
Yep.
For a few months because she didn't have
because they
any,
lost the porches
gas
I mean, the last storm, Sandy was definitely the worst because both houses had to be remodeled after those storms.
So what made the decision to, go with the beachfront bar and expand the patio and not try to rebuild the hotel?
Well, the first winter after Sandy, I mean, first we made the major decision to tearing the hotel down, and that was problematic just in itself. And then this was supposed to be a temporary decision because we had to raise some money for the new hotel.
Right.
So that winter, I mean, we have a beautiful sketch drawing of the new hotel. We've spent lots of money with architects and septic designs and stuff because that's where we were going forward with that. But then we had a summer at the new setup, and the restaurant did great. And we found that our customers really liked coming here better without the hotel being here. That some of them didn't like coming to the restaurant with the hotel because it was just
it's
a
a different
lot of
atmosphere.
locals anyway. I don't know. So we just saw a spike in revenue from a different area, and so we've just concentrated on improving that now.
Mm-hmm.
And how did that feel? Being obviously you've known the hotel your entire life, and you've had a relationship with the hotel since the 70s. So what was that like saying goodbye to that?
It was very emotional. It was a really tough, winter, watching them tear down the hotel. But we knew that it was the best thing to do, and it's proven to be the best thing that we could have done. It's been a real positive change for our family.
Yeah. So as you were saying, at least for locals, the Andrea in the past five years. 5 years because Sandy was in October. So for the past 5 summers, this has really become the place to go on Musquamacut Beach, the restaurant, the bar, or at least in the very top echelon of that. And does that?
I think the
do you
locals
feel like that was I'm sorry. Do you feel like that was a rallying around it, or do you think that just the change of the atmosphere made everybody want to come more?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think any westerly person that loves Musquamacut, they venture all the places down here. They love it. I mean, we all do great businesses down here, so it's not I never consider the Andrea the place to be on the beach because we have such great other places too.
It's true. You can spend a whole week down here and find something new
my
every
day off last week, I took my electric bike out and we went and had sandwiches at Watch Hill at St. Clair's. We had drinks in the afternoon at the Windjammer. We stopped into Patty's. I mean, it's just, that's what a true Musquamacut local does.
Yeah.
It's
that's awesome. By the way, I think Charles is going to be jealous because he said on his episode, Charles Treffis from the Windjammer said on his episode that when the summer started, he needed to get me out on their patio to do an interview and just talk about what I saw. And he warned me that I was going to get burned very badly because I'm so pale. And luckily, I'm sitting in the dark behind a gigantic, beautiful fireplace, which is good because I probably would get burned to a crisp. The community, and so like, what was the?
But I definitely, back to your other question too. I mean, we did feel a large sense of the community helping us with the rebuild process.
Yeah.
There was a lot of support from people. It was amazing. I mean, lots of people stepped up and came out of the woodwork to help us with our plan and talk to us and figure out what would be best for us and offer their help and opinions, or just a shoulder to listen to us vent about it.
That's what I'm coming to find out is I really feel like Mesquamaket is it really feels like a little family, like an extended family. Like the Seafood Haven just got announced that they're reopening at a new location, and a lot of positive support from the other businesses, which I thought was cool.
Yes, Mesquamaket has the best business orientated community. All of our business owners are united, and we really want people to enjoy Mesquamaket, not just our place in Mesquamaket, but Mesquamaket as a whole, because they'll come back and they'll tell people and they'll branch off to the other places, And
kudos to Caswell too, because he has really been a big part of the glue that's held us together.
Well, thank you for saying his name, because he owes me money now. Every time somebody mentions his name on the podcast, he has to pay me more. That's not true. It should be. Yeah, it's great, and you guys are all rooting for each other and coming together, and it's awesome because it's a little strip of beach that's bigger than people think, but it would be very easy to breed competition and resentment and stuff like that, and it's just not at all what I've seen talking to the business owners, and that's really awesome. So I think that you guys and everybody else that we've talked to and everybody that has businesses down here should be commended for just the working together.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
So do you guys? What's the stress like? What's the stress level like? Like, what's the difference between now running a restaurant compared to running the hotel with a restaurant? Is it easier? Is it harder? Is it just difficult in a different way?
Well, the hotel was a year-round business, so we had a lot of year-round employees that we could pay year-round and keep them on. Now, with this being such a seasonal business, we don't have those year-round support, staff. So it is a little trickier to find employees, hire them. Everyone comes to a restaurant and expects you to have everything ready for a 5-star dining experience when this might be their third shift in June. We're still getting going for the season.
Exactly.
So it's really tough to get everyone trained. And I think even I heard in Charles' podcast, by the time you train them, it's time to shut the doors and see you later.
Yeah. It is a challenge.
What's your favorite non-Andrea, non-business, like, what's your favorite event that happens at Mesquamaket throughout the summer? We have Spring Fest, Fall Fest, classic car shows, movie nights, drive-in movies, Guy Fawkes, all of that, which isn't really summer, but the luau. What do you guys look forward to every year?
I really try to do a little mixture of them all. I try to get myself to the drive-in one night. I try to get to some of the concerts at the Town Beach a couple times. I mean, Watch Hill has the concert series too. It's just we're so fortunate that we live in an area that you can really go do whatever. You can. Yeah. There's no excuse not to go find something to do on your day off.
I think that the Spring Fest and the Fall Fest, but the Spring Fest especially, is a really nice opening to the season, and I think that it's become more and more popular over the years.
Yeah, Springfest feels like it has a little more oomph to it because there's the anticipation. Yeah. You really close the doors. If not with Fall Fest, then Guy Fawkes in October is the last thing that's really done other than the luau before Springfest. I believe.
Yeah.
I'm learning more. So there's that like 8-month anticipation that it's coming.
I love the fact that Patty's is bringing back some bigger name acts to the beach, with their nightly music shows now, and it reminds me of the old days when the Windjammer used to bring the really big acts to the beach.
Right.
And so, Misquamicket's changed, but when you really think about it, it really hasn't.
Yeah. What's the biggest act you've ever seen on the beach?
I saw Bonnie Raitt.
Oh, wow.
And I saw Huey Lewis in the News.
Nice.
That was big. I really enjoyed that. That was great.
Where did they play?
At the Windjammer.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
All right.
I was more the reggae night at Patty's. I was seeing Yellow Man or.
That's awesome. And so you guys have live music here. Did you always have live music, or is that something that started after?
Always had live music.
Yeah,
Even when
it changes throughout the years of what we have as far as, full bands, acoustic, DJs. We have found out that with this new setup like we have here, we don't have like a stage or lighting or sound,
Right.
so the live bands have been increasing here. We only do them on Sunday afternoons from 1 to 5 on the deck.
Yeah. Why 1 to 5 on Sundays after?
It's a town ordinance for
Okay.
music. Yeah, you're only allowed 1 to 5 p.m.
Cool. Yeah, I love. I've come down here for music several times. It's awesome.
We do our open mic night on Sunday nights with Greg Sherrard. He brings a house band in. And
yeah?
So if people bring their instruments or come down, they can sing along,
Oh,
play
cool.
along. That's
So-
from 8 to 11. That's a really fun time for musicians.
That's open mic on what night?
Sunday nights?
Sunday nights, 8 to 11. Open mic with Greg Sherrard, who's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool, and he brings a whole band.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
wow. That's a great.
But this summer,
that's a great
besides
open
that,
mic
it's
night.
mostly DJs. We have DJs Wednesday through Saturday nights.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's really cool to come see live music on the beach. It's really cool to come see a DJ on the beach. The atmosphere here at night is so cool. Under the tent is awesome. I've had several nights hanging out under the tent and coming out and just looking at the beach. Like, it's right here. Like, I can't stress how much we are right on the beach.
It's a gorgeous day down here today, that's for sure.
If I threw my microphone, I could make it to the ocean.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. So what are you looking forward to this summer?
A nice, hot, dry season.
No rain on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was this our first nice weekend of the summer, you think? The weekend that we just had?
The weather's been very trying, but we haven't really, I feel like we haven't had a spring in New England in over a decade, so I think you get used to it. I'm just waiting for summer to start.
How much of your time is spent just looking at the weather report every day? Do you do it every day?
I actually don't tend to look at it unless someone says a storm's blowing in, so I know when to get the salt and peppers off the tables.
What are you looking forward to this summer?
We just hired a new chef this summer, so I'm very encouraged that our food and quality will improve and that people will enjoy the menu and the experience.
And he's been coming up with some great specials every day, so it's nice to have somebody that's a little more experienced back there. Not that we had good chefs last year too, but this guy's a little older and has more experience under his belt, so I think he's going to bring a nice level of quality back to the kitchen. That's
awesome. And exciting, and a good chef really just makes all the difference. So that's really cool. How much fun is it to just every day look out and see, people, families enjoying the beach? Like, right now,
I went for a 3-mile walk on the beach this morning before I met you.
there's a toddler playing in the waves in my eyesight, and it's just adorable. And you get to see that every day. That's your life.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It is.
Sometimes it's you don't take the time to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because you're working so hard. So
yeah,
it's
that's
nice
true. Yeah,
that you point that out.
So what is you guys host the Guy Fawkes Bonfire every October? Is that
Yes.
true?
We have for 20, I think it's
20 years.
20th year? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I know that I will know in a couple months, and I will pretend like I knew all along. So that's in October, right?
It's usually, yes, the weekend after Columbus Day.
So how did you guys start hosting that?
Well, that started like in December on the actual Guy Fawkes. What was it? What was the actual date? It started in the winter.
Okay.
And because we were open in the winters back then, so it started as a big bonfire in the winter, as like some, a gimmick to get people down to the beach in the middle of winter, basically.
Right. And what is that night like to have a big party after the season's over? Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of parties. I don't know. It's just
it's
another party to us because we do weddings, birthday, all in October, those months. So.
Oh yeah, that's something else that I wanted to talk about. I've been to some parties here. I've been to like some retirement parties and stuff here. So you guys have weddings and tell me a little bit more about the events that you can
we do
host.
catered events where we host catered events in our off season. So like this weekend will be our last event for spring, and then once we get into summer, we don't host private events. But then in September and October, we'll start up again. So you get everything from class reunions to weddings to rehearsal dinners to this week coming up. We have a celebration of life, and we have a rehearsal dinner and.
Fundraising events.
Yeah, lots of fundraising events.
That's awesome. I'm very upset now. My class reunion was like 2 years ago. In 8 years, I'm going to have to make sure that they do it
right?
here.
Yeah.
So weddings and fundraisers and stuff, that's awesome. I can't think of a better place to do something like that. I mean, you have the view obviously is great, but then you also have the tent, which is just like a massive event tent that's up.
That's exactly what it is.
which is amazing, and I really like the lighting under the tent at night.
Yeah,
it looks cool. It's a great vibe.
LED lighting that they use for like the Vegas buildings, like built side to shine up on buildings. So it has like 8 different. You can strobe it. It has 8 different colors. So
that's
the lights
awesome.
are really kind of cool.
So there are no plans, like you said you spent a bunch of money on the architects to draw it up and stuff.
But we decided, it's to build the hotel. It's like a $7-8 million project.
Yeah.
And I mean, and we look at our friends down the road, and it's taken him how many years to get his hotel up. We just didn't want to borrow that kind of money. And when this is restaurant setup is working out for our family at the time. It's giving us more time to spend with our children as their teenage years progress, and they're involved in everything, it seems like. So it's just a good fit. I'm not saying 100% sure that we'll never build a hotel, because you never know what's going to happen the next time. But the next wave hits, we'll figure it out again, I guess.
Are you concerned about the next wave that hits?
Well, yeah. I mean, this past winter alone, we had to rebuild our whole front seawall.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, yeah. It was a very expensive project, and Shrenzia was here for several weeks doing it. But, so, yeah, you never know. We had a storm back on Hurricane Sandy's anniversary. It was it was October 30th again.
It damaged the wall so bad that we had to
plucked
redo
a few of our rocks out on us.
That's I mean, I know that it's something that comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But
it
just if it wasn't for that, it would be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So you always have to fix stuff after the nor'easter season is really what people overlook, because hurricanes you get every once in a while, but those nor'easters come every winter, and those really do a lot. I mean, just look at Situate and those areas and those nor'easters that we got that totally wrecked them. This past winter.
Yeah.
It's if
the
wind was going the other way, it would have been us.
Yeah. I love how you both clearly something you guys say a lot. It's probably a really good thing then that you live so close to the to the business. That way, you're here to see the
You
damage
definitely
immediately.
start to feel like a meteorologist. You're like, nope, it's going out to sea. Like, I know more than them. Like, because you've watched it, you know what those are. But
you have to. Like,
I don't
that's
make
just,
the money that they do, though.
It's interesting, though, because, of course, as a young woman who was raising a family, we did live right here during those years. But now both of my daughters and myself have chosen to move away from the beachfront. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it does threaten your life. So
Right.
many, living here, you just don't know what the ocean's going to do.
Yeah, definitely. It's beautiful,
Yeah.
but it can be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you guys have like I know that there's way too many to choose, and I'm a big jerk for asking you to try. Is there like a memory that really sticks out of the Andrea from all of the time that you've spent here, that just whenever anybody asks, like, what's your favorite memory of all your years that you've spent here, that you always remember, or one of many?
Oh, there's so many memories.
Yeah. I have to say that one of the things that we don't do anymore, unfortunately, but my father-in-law started years ago, was the holidays during the August. And one weekend would be St. Patrick's Day, the other would be Mardi Gras, and then the big one always was Christmas. And many of our local customers, they would step up and be the Santa Claus, and the fire department would let us use the fire truck to take Santa Claus around, and we bought presents for all the kids. It was always a very big event and a very heartwarming event, and I think that was something that was a big deal when we had the hotel.
Yeah.
After the hotel was gone, we tried to do it the first couple of years, and it just lost its
People used to stay for those weekends. So
Right.
they'd have their shirts and their
Right.
holiday shirts. They'd be ready for it.
Yeah.
So we kind of lost that
Yeah.
momentum with just the restaurant.
Yeah.
People were like, what the hell's going on around here? You know?
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, I really wish that I could have seen that.
I remember skipping school with friends and having pillow fights in the hotel rooms. And when Daddy found us, there was feathers everywhere. He was so mad at us.
See, I don't remember that.
I know, right?
It's probably for the best that you don't. That's awesome. And is there something that you haven't done yet that you look forward to doing, something that you hope to do in the future, either personally or as the business or as members of the community, like something you'd like to see brought here? I didn't tell you that these questions would be so tough. I'm sorry.
I would like to see more water sports in our area, but it's like, boat rentals, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
That would be great, yeah.
But I also don't want to be the one to start that kind of business either.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's a lot of liability with
There
that kind
is,
of
and
stuff.
that's
Absolutely.
why, yeah.
I feel like that all the time. I have
Yeah.
ideas, and I'm
You
like,
go
oh,
to
I
the
really
Caribbean,
want that.
you see those like pirate ships with the slides and stuff, and it's like, why don't we have more
Oh, that
people
would be
trying to make money like that,
that would be
here?
awesome.
And today you look at the ocean and it's calm, and
yeah,
it
it's gorgeous
certainly would be
today.
a wonderful day to do that. But the ocean here in Rhode Island is so you just can't plan it.
Yeah.
What it's going to be like from day to day.
Yeah. Do you see like how is the traffic? This isn't something that I would probably ever ask in an interview if I wasn't looking at the ocean right now. What is the traffic like in the ocean when you're like? Is there constantly something going by? Is there because right now
there's lots of
there's
ocean.
there's like a sailboat in the
Only when the sailboat regatta goes by or something like
Right,
that. That's
right.
pretty cool to watch.
Yeah.
Did the Morgan pass by here when it left the
We
Mystic?
did see some tall ships. Was it last week? I think it was last week or the week before. There were several tall ships that went by. It's kind
That's
of cool.
awesome, yeah.
And occasionally you'll see a barge that's going between Quonset and Groton.
Yeah.
Bringing things back and forth between the EB properties.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's really cool. And this has been a fantastic time for me. Thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure to be actually on the beach with you, and you're establishment is beautiful and so much fun and a great place and great food.
Well, thanks for coming
great
down.
drinks. Thank you
If
guys.
you'd like to have some lunch before you leave, we'll definitely buy you some lunch.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to, advertise or anything before we leave?
No, just that summer's started. All the
We're here every
businesses are
day.
are open 7 days a week now, so come on down to Mesquamaket.
Awesome. And if you are so inclined, open mic nights are Sunday 8 to 11, and there's bands 1 to 5 on Sunday afternoons, and DJs Wednesday
through Saturday.
Wednesday through Saturday. Awesome. So much fun stuff to do. I can't recommend it enough. Thank you guys so much. And here's to another 105 years of the Andrea.
Yeah, right.
Wouldn't
Thank
that be
you.
nice?
Thanks.
For more information on the events and businesses in Mesquamaket Beach, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and at mesquamaket.org.